Welcome GibbsCam users. A while ago I did this part here, and this was basically showing you how to rough this part out. Well, somebody asked how would you go about finishing this cavity here, and so that's what we're going to go over today. So before I went over, so this is we're using the advanced 3D on here. I have let me click on the tabs here. I have this pocketing selected here, and my depth and my Z-step, and how much surface stock I want to leave on the part. And of course, everything else you can fill out the feeds and speeds, back and forth, things like that. Everything here is pretty much just default here. Entry, exits, I usually choose minimal vertical. And all this is pretty much default here when you select it. So that's what we did for the roughing. I'm going to go through this on the OpSim here. Let's rewind it. So we're going to go down in steps, and of course this will remove most of the material there and leave some nice smaller steps to clean up the cavity. So this is just using a tool number 1 1/2 inch. Bring the tool up here. 1/2 inch end mill, just a sharp corner there. So the next thing you want to do is finish that. We have a couple of ways that we can finish the floor on here. The first one, we're going to use tool number 3, which is just a 1/4 inch ball end mill. And here, let's go back to the surface tab. I have constant step over cut. So instead of doing lace cut one direction or 45 or any other angle, this one's going to do a constant step over, so the angle isn't going to be the same. Of course, put in your feeds and speeds and whatever step over you would like here. You could choose a normal vector range, but we'll leave that from 0 to 90, so that will pretty much get the whole cavity there. As far as cutting strategy, we're just going to go back and forth. You could choose unidirectional, downward, upward, whatever you'd like to do. And the cutting mode here I have inside out, so basically it's going to start in the middle and work its way out there. Everything else here pretty much default. Fit arcs there, so it could produce arcs in most cases. And again, minimal vertical on here. And the boundary I just have on and contact areas only. And bounding box, this is just standard here. Like I say, pretty much everything here is just default. So we'll just redo this toolpath just because I made a couple changes there and let that go. So here we have it finished. Let's run the rendering on that. And we'll tell it this is in version 2025 to stop before every tool. That's a nice new feature in there. So let's play the roughing here. So we'll finish the rough. Did a good job in roughing. If you want to turn this on, you can kind of see the steps a little bit more there. Kind of shows more of a wireframe of the steps there. And then you can choose to have it these here, which I don't use very much. Then back to the solid. So the next thing we're going to do is, of course, the finish. That's with the ball end mill, 1/4 inch ball end mill, starting from the inside out. So let's render that. And again, I believe I'm going 20,000 step overs here. So you can see it starting the inside out, and of course it went over here first because that depth is pretty much the same as some of the depths over here. But you can see it working its way out. Here, we'll zoom this up a little bit. So some people prefer to go inside out. The only issue you might have is these vertical walls. You're taking the whole cut there on the end mill when it's a vertical wall, but the rest is here is okay. So let's finish that out. So here we have a nice little tool path. They need to clean up the corners, and that's for the tool number 4, which is the 1/8 inch ball end mill, because you can see we didn't quite clean up the corners with that big of an end mill. So we'll just finish this off. Clean up the corners there. and there our part is finished there. Now the thing with the cleanup, let's just bring that up so you have an idea on that. We're doing a part bounding box again with tool number 4, of course. Pretty much default there. Options, most of this is just default. And entry and exit there. Minimize, minimal vertical. And boundary, we're just doing a solid here and rest material, so it's only cutting where the material is left over, which is of course in these locations here and a little bit on here, on there. And you can refine that if you want by these boxes right here. So that's kind of 4. So the other tool path would be starting from the outside and going in, and so you'd have a little bit less stress on the end mill going down, but some people don't like to cut with the tip so much, but that's quarters up to you. So let's deactivate this one, and we'll activate this one. This is in 2025. You have that ability to do that. And let's run through the rendering once again. So let's rewind. Let's do the play here of the rough end mill. All right, that's finished just like it was before. Now we're going to start from the outside and going in somewhat of a spiral cut here. As you can see, slow it down a bit. But you can see it's already cut the wall over here, so you don't have any stress on the end mill, ball end mill on the shank of it so much, not so shank, but the flutes, the straight up flutes. But you are machining more with the tip. So depending on how you want to cut, you can choose either direction you'd like. Let that finish off there. And of course that looks pretty good. Then we finish off again with the corners. And there you have your finished part. So this is a good way to finish the part. You can of course decide if you want to bring this up a little bit here. Decide what you want on the step over. 20 thou step over for a 1/4 inch end mill. Ball end mill isn't too bad, but you can of course decide what you want to do there. But anyway, hope this helps on showing you how to finish this side there, and good luck.